All right, we are, as you said, glad to have our December Students of the Month with us today. They were chosen for the word thankful, and we are so very proud that they have used that character trait and practiced it and have shown themselves to do a great job with that. I would like to introduce them. We have Jasmine Corbett, Amber Harris, Jace Necessary, Kenzie Thompson, Malia Johnson, Coy Cox, Shavi Perez, Weston May.
Thank y'all so much for being here. We're not going to be able to compete with that now the rest of this meeting, so.
Thank you guys for taking time. Thank you. Good job, kiddos.
All right, we need to figure out a way to start every Monday that way. All right, call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Hey, Chase, can we cut that down? It just seems like it's too loud. Or Ghostbusters charging up, one of the two.
All right. Thank you to everyone for being here tonight. We appreciate having you all here. Support Employee of the Month.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start. We have two, high school and upper. So I see upper. So let's do upper first. We'll go ahead and come around the front like normal, guys. We'll do upper and then we'll do high school.
Heather Warren is our UES district support staff. Heather is also our technology assistant. She is a Poto High School graduate and has been employed with Poto Schools for 3.5 years. Heather has one of the most important jobs at our site, ensuring the seamless operation of all of our technology. When asked, these are the reasons Heather gave for loving her job. I love being able to support our staff by being the ones others can rely on to solve a problem. I love having the challenge of keeping up with ever-changing technology. I love being part of a team with a bigger purpose. I love that I get to come to work and wear a genuine smile. These are some of the things that teachers and staff said about Heather. Heather is always quick to come to my rescue whenever I encounter technology issues. Whether it's a problem with my smartboard, computer, or student Chromebooks, she responds swiftly and ensures everything is up and running smoothly, allowing my class to continue without interruption. Her expertise and willing to make a huge difference in keeping our technology working seamlessly. We are truly lucky to have Heather on our team. She is very knowledgeable and efficient and gets our tech issues fixed promptly. Heather is persistent when trying to troubleshoot a problem. If she encounters something she can't resolve on her own, she isn't afraid to call for backup. She does what it takes to get the job done. Thank you, Heather. Everyone at the upper elementary appreciates all you do for us.
All right. Next, we have high school. Ms. Ballard, where you at?
Right here.
Thank you. I'm definitely not as cute as the first graders, but I'll try my best. So I have Miss Susan Vincent here. She has been with us for 3 years for Poto Public Schools, and we went and stole her all the way from Washington State, across from the country. So she has been with us there for 3 years. And all the teachers said the same thing, the ones that voted for her, and talked about how just spontaneous and happy. She smiles. She also does my announcements in the morning, a moment of silence, and our pledge. And she just doesn't say the pledge, but she puts so much emphasis on it. She just oozes out the empathy and grace that we need every day on a daily basis. She's always smiling. She is consistent. She also emails all of our students on a daily basis and gets a lot of feedback. So even students have came up and talked about how much impact that Susan makes on their lives just through a simple email. And she actually gets a lot of positive comments and emails back from the students, which makes her happy. The thing that she loves about her job, she loves working with staff and students to build a great learning environment. She should be in a place where everyone feels safe and accepted, and that begins during the enrollment process. So Susan also is our registrar and helps get all of our families enrolled and situated out of another school into our school in a seamless process. Communication, positive attitude, and understanding are so important to Susan. She also says she enjoys making staff, students, parents feel welcome. In a nutshell, that is Miss Susan Vincent, and congratulations, it's well earned.
Awesome. And then we're going to get a group picture up here. I do want to say that First National Bank supports this monthly award. They give 2 $50 gift certificates to our winners each month. So, and at the end of the year in May, all the monthly winners will get a chance to be the Support Employee of the Year for an $800 award. So First National Bank has really supported us. If we could get you two guys in the middle, and then we'll all gather around.
All right, before everybody gets too comfortable, our next agenda item is Recognize Teacher of the Year.
Yep.
Oh, that's me. One of my favorite parts of my job is getting to oversee the Teacher of the Year selection. We have outstanding, amazing educators here in Poto. Last month, you got to meet 5 of them. You got to meet our 5 site winners. So the process for the district winner is those 5 site winners submitted their philosophy of education essay, which was graded by our PD committee. And then Mr. Kempnick and 3 community members, as well as our district teacher of the year winner from last year, did an interview. And then we added a little component this year that we hadn't had previously, and that was they each did a little video clip where they got to share their philosophy of education and a little bit about their classroom and themselves. And it was only like a 3-minute clip or so, but I felt like it added a really good component for our interview panel. It wasn't graded, but it did help them know the teacher in their element. So after that, we added the essay scores, we added the interview scores, and our district Teacher of the Year winner is high school math teacher, Miss Robin Stockton. So we're going to play a little video clip for them. Do you want them to move over here? Let's move over there. It won't take very long. Then we'll take it.
So this is the video clip we got to watch prior to the interviews. So last year when we did the interviews, we hadn't got a chance to see any of the actual, applicants, Teacher of the Years in their own environment. So being able to get them in their own environment was huge. It was a big one for us. So this is Miss Stockton.
Hi, my name is Robin Stockton. I have been teaching for 28 years, or this is my 28th year. I was born and raised here in the LaFleur County area. Part of the reason I became a teacher was I started out wanting to be a scientist. In my very first math class at what was West Ark then, the professor came in the board and put a function on the board and said, graph this on your calculator. And I had gotten a graphing calculator for graduation, so I absolutely had no idea what I was doing and felt as if I did not belong at the university. And at that point, I felt like I could make a difference and make it to where students that grow up here, when they leave high school, will never feel like, no, it doesn't matter what path they choose, they will feel like they're educated and they belong there in that training. I then transferred to West Ark and went to OU and met my husband, who had this crazy idea to go to Alaska. So I spent 20 of my 28 years teaching at different places in Alaska. And then for the last 6 years, I've taught at the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, predominantly pedagogy classes for future educators, K through 12, mostly focusing on pedagogy for elementary teachers, but also algebra and foundations of algebra for secondary majors as well.
Welcome to my classroom. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what we do here, because I think it helps describe what makes me different as a math teacher. All of the learning that we do is set up in cooperative learning groups. We start the day every day trying to spark imagination and interest in math. So we have theme bell ringers. Today's Tuesday, so we're doing Tough Guess Tuesday, and then we every Tuesday look at our percent error off of the real answer so that we can practice for state and standardized testing. That's how we tie that in. But mostly I just wanted to show you what my classroom looks like, so that you can get an idea of what I mean when I say it's most important that my room feel like a community of learners.
So I showed you a little bit about my classroom and what makes me different as a high school math instructor, and I am honored to be representing Poto High in this competition.
We're really proud of you, and you will represent Poto well next. She'll be able to compete at the state level, so we're looking forward to seeing how she does at that. Do you want to say a few words?
I don't know. I'm honored to be here at Poto. I truly am. Like I said, I was born and raised here, and just through life, I went away, but I've been back for a while, and I love teaching the kids here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And I certainly don't want to leave the classroom again, because my heart is in public education. Although I was helping make future educators, it's not as fun as being with those kids every day. And so just thank you so much for letting me be a part of your family.
Yeah, Leonard will need next, so, yeah.
Congratulations, Ms. Stockton, we appreciate you. All right, did we have any comments from the public?
No, ma'am.
Board to take action on the employment of Stephen McDonald and Associates, Inc. as financial consultant to the school district.
Yeah, so we've been using J.C. Leonard and Stephen H. McDonald and Associates for a while, so we just want to continue to use them. We've got upcoming item that he's going to talk about next, but we'd like to get him approved first.
I move we approve the employment of Stephen A. McDonald's and Associates.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Board to consider and take action on a resolution authorizing the calling and holding of special election to be held in the school district to authorize the issuance of general obligation bonds.
Okay. First, what I'd like to go over is over the projections and the financial portion of the resolution we're about to go over. But what we're proposing is a $1,230,000 building bond issue dated June of 2025. It's a 3-year issue. Projected tax increases around 6.5%. If you go with me to that next page. This right here is called the Summary of Sinking Fund Requirements and Tax Levies, and it's just an illustration of how we levy for those bonds. We collect that in the sinking fund, and we pay back those bonds. So right there you see that issue highlighted in yellow. That's what we're proposing. That's $1,230,000. That would go on the tax rolls next year if this passes in February, and it would look to bump that sinking fund millage up from that 11.88 to that 17.69 based off rates that we're seeing in the market and the growth projections we have in your net assessed evaluation. Now, how does that equate to dollars and cents? Let's go to that next page real quick. So that box on the left side is your overall tax levies that you pay. It's going to be bumping that sinking fund millage up 5.81. It's going to bump it around 6.5%. And so what we'll do is we'll use that chart there on the right-hand side. And what basically that's stating is for every $100 you pay in property taxes, you're looking at $6.50 more or 54 cents more a month. Another way to look at that is for every $1,000 you pay in property taxes, you're looking at about $65 more per year or $5.42 more per month. That chart right there gives you an idea. So if somebody asks you a question, say, hey, how much is this going to cost me? Politely ask them, hey, what did you pay last year? And you can go down that chart and see that example of where you'd be looking at a property tax increase on that. Any questions on just the financial portion of that? Okay. Next, I have a resolution. And if you guys will turn with me to the second page, I'm going to read a few sections out loud, go through some of the language on this resolution. Starting there at the top of section 1, that a special election is hereby called in said school district be held on the 11th day of February 2025 for the purpose of submitting to the registered qualified electors of such school district the following proposition. Proposition in that paragraph I'm about to read is your actual ballot question you will see when you go vote at the polls with yes or no underneath it. Shall Independent School District number 29 of LaFleur County, Oklahoma, incur an indebtedness by issuance bond sum of $1,230,000 to be issued in one or more series to provide funds for the purpose of acquiring and installing HVAC at the primary school, upper elementary, and Pansy Kid Middle School gyms, constructing, equipping, repairing, and remodeling school buildings, acquiring school furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and acquiring and improving school sites, and levying, collecting annual tax in addition to all their taxes upon all the taxable property in such district sufficient to pay the interest on such bonds as it falls due, and also to constitute a sinking fund for the payment of the principal thereof when due. Said bonds to bear interest not to exceed the rate of 10% per annum, payable semi-annually and become due yearly within 10 years from their date. That's the standard ballot question we use on all bond issues here in the state of Oklahoma. One note to say on that last sentence there, where it says said bonds to bear interest not to exceed the rate of 10% per annum, what's that stating is we have not sold your bonds yet. We will not go to market to sell your bonds until sometime in the springtime if it passes. And when you as a board get those bids and you open them up, it has to be 10% or less. Right now, we're not even close to that. I'm projecting around a 375 on that. That's what we're getting on the tax-exempt bonds that we're selling in the last few months or so. Then where it says payable semi-annually become due yearly within 10 years from their date, we're selling a 3-year bond, but this just gives us some flexibility, but it's got to be 10 years or less, but we're just selling a 3-year bond, and that's just kind of the standard language we use. So any questions on that portion of it? And note also, we did put the specific language in there for our project since we only have one item on that project, so it's in the actual ballot question. Then going down to section 4, that the specific projects for which at least 85% of the proceeds of the aforesaid bond shall be expended and the dollar amounts for each project shall be as follows. to acquire and install HVAC at the primary school, upper elementary, and Pansy Kid Middle School gyms for a total of $1,230,000. Any questions on that resolution?
So this is just to add HVAC to the primary and upper elementary and the Pansy Kid Middle School?
Correct. So you got to remember, our building fund, which is what we've been working out of, it's capped. I mean, we only can do so much out of that. Right. Next year, we've got $1 million project on a roof, upper elementary, that we got to get done. So that's going to eat out a ton of what we have. So as we go forward and we're projecting with our student investment committees or our capital improvement committees, this is kind of where we're at. If we want to continue to move forward, we're hoping that our community can support this movement. You've seen the HVAC that we got in the new gym. So we're wanting to make sure that district-wide, all of our kids have HVAC, not just high school kiddos.
Okay.
Good question.
Anybody else?
Need a motion? I make a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 It's okay, I've got some documents to be signed real quick. I've got the resolution, some part of the documentation there. And then just from here, we will get this filed this week because filing deadline is actually Thursday. And then from exactly Thursday till we vote on February 11th, it's 60 days, and we'll be working with you guys on campaigning and getting that PR, getting this information out to our patrons of the district. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yes.
This is our resolution, and there'll be a total of 6 sign pages to sign, and the clerk will be next to it. I just have one document for everybody to sign. Print your name by your position. Clerk. This is our clerk certificate, and there'll be 4 of those to sign. This is our legal publication, published on paper. There should be 4 of those to sign.
Okay.
This is our resolution that we approved, and there'll be 6 on those to sign. And I've got 2 sets of the contract, just to stay here for the minutes. They're both the same. There'll be 1, 2, and the last page will make 3. So 3, 3, 1, 1.
Okay.
I think I got all those.
Got one right there, and then this is our legal publication. There'll be 3 places here to sign. 1, 2, and the last page on 3. We got 1 more set. 3, and then 1 more should be good.
Need to get a stamp.
Sounds like a great job, doesn't it, this, right?
Fingers ain't wanting to work.
One on each of those.
Thanks, JC, appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you all.
Is that yours too?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd entertain a motion with regards to the minutes of the regular board meeting from November 11, 2024.
I'll make a motion. I'll second his motion.
Roll call, please. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Financial reports and encumbrances.
So if you'll look with me at our November financials, we'll start with looking at the general fund. And our revenue increase for the month of November, and going back to the same old story, our state aid, remember last year we started receiving that state aid adjustment in January, so we're still receiving it. Then January it'll kind of level off because that's when we started getting it last year. Also in the month of November, which is not typical, we received every federal claim except for one. And typically, we do not receive them all in one month, but this year, they almost all came in the month of November. Looking at our expenses for the month of November, our expenses are up, and that is because we paid for our textbooks in the month of November. Last year, we had paid for them in the month of October, so that's just a different in months when it actually got paid. And in our general fund, we do have a deficit for the month of November, which is normal for this time of the year. We still have a very good fund balance in our general fund. If you look at the building fund for the month of November, there was not a lot going on. There was not a lot of revenue and not a lot of expenditures. So our fund balance for November is almost the same as it was for October. And then looking at our child nutrition, there you're going to look and see at our revenue for our child nutrition. You're going to say, well, what happened to our revenue? We have not received our October claim, our federal claim for child nutrition, and that is because this year we are on CEP, and before they approve the October claim, the October student count has to be approved, and it goes to the Office of Accountability, and then it has to be uploaded into the child nutrition on the state, and that was actually submitted today. Everything's finally approved, and Cindy uploaded our October claim today, and it's for about $141,000. So we are expecting to receive that hopefully by the beginning of next week. So that'll be coming in. Our expenditures for child nutrition are up for the month of November, and it is just increases in salaries and all the services. So with us receiving those free lunches, our students are eating more, and so for the month of November, our OPA bill was almost up $30,000 from last year. So we know more students are actually eating in our cafeteria, which is what we want. So if you'll turn to the next page and look at our year-to-date balances. Looking at general fund again, revenue is up from last year, and like I said before, that's mostly due to that state aid midterm adjustment that should level out in January. We also received more prior year revenue this year than we did last year. It's just it came in later this year. So that also increased our revenue for this year. And actually last month, we received our first maternity leave. That's something new this year. And we received $18,000 in the month of November for the year of 2024 school year. So they are finally starting to reimburse us for that maternity leave that they had told us. They're requiring us to give 6 weeks, and so they were going to give us some reimbursement. There's a lot of different qualifications that we have to do and days we have to calculate, but we did receive some funding for that, so that was good to receive that. Our expenses, if you compare our expenses to last year, we're right about the same from last year. So not a lot of change there so far in our expenditures in our general fund. I do want to make you just kind of remind you, last month, you know, you approved us to purchase 2 activity buses, so that's about $345,000. We have 2 electric buses plus chargers that hopefully will come in this year. And so there's some extra expenditures that is going to be coming out of general fund. So our fund balance does look really good, but we will start seeing some more expenditures there that we didn't have last year. And just to remind you too, our ESSER funds, last year we did not receive our first ESSER funds reimbursement until December, so we haven't even seen where that school, like, it hasn't even showed up in our revenue yet to compare it to last year. So just kind of reminder that revenue is not going to be coming in this year, but the first one didn't come in until December, so just kind of let you know. Building fund, the revenue is up some from last year, and our expenditures are up in the building fund. That's due to some of the projects that we've already done this year, and our turf is out there. Devin will probably be speaking more about it, but we know that we'll be paying over $500,000 for that turf, and that'll probably be coming out 1st of January. We have I know he'll be talking about the renovations that's going on at the new admin building. That'll probably be paid 1st of January. And we have loan payments that'll be coming coming in March. So we have a really good fund balance, but there's going to be some expenditures coming out as well. And we should be getting our red bud pretty soon as well, coming into the account. Child nutrition revenue is down, and that's mainly due to that October claim. Like I said, we should be getting that $141,000 probably the 1st of next week. Our expenditures are up in child nutrition as well, and that, more children eating, more expenses there, which is a good thing. And our child nutrition is still at a good fund balance there. So, does anyone have any questions about any of those operating funds? If you look with me on the encumbrances, I'll start with the general fund and just go over a few of those with you. On the first page, about the middle, PO number 652, that's just from some additional fuel. And if you go to the bottom almost, number 663, that is the NEVCO. That is on our school board out there. And so this should be the final payment for them. And we agreed, we did a 3-year with them, so this should be our final payment on that. On the second page, PO number 670 is just some books for the library, and 681. The first one was for primary, the second one is for upper, purchasing library books. We do that every year. And then on the third page, almost at the end, PO number 700, that is for some curriculum for our special ed department. And then if you look with me on our encumbrances for our building, we have 2 POs there, number 17 and number 18. The first one, number 17, that is to Community State Bank. And you've already approved the loan payment, and this is just the interest. So we'll make that loan payment in probably February, and then to make sure we get all the interest paid up before June 30th, this is just extra, so we're paying the interest in the correct year. And the second one is to First National Bank of Fort Smith, and that is our second loan with the new land that we acquired. And remember, this one is only for 5 years, so that amount is up there, and we are also hoping to make a little extra payment on that as well. So. On the cafeteria, there are 4 POs. The last one, number 32, is to open. That's for our next month's expenses. And then our last page is our sinking fund, and that's on our current bond. That's the interest that's payable to UMB. We pay it semi-annually, and that's our next one that's due, and it's paid out of our sinking fund that we acquire from the taxes. And then the rest of the pages is all the additional information for all of the funds, if there's ever any questions. Does anyone have anything on any of the encumbrances?
Questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion with regards to the financial reports and encumbrances.
I'll make a motion, we approve the financial.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Adams,
Yes.
McGeehee,
Yes.
Peck,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve an emergency procedures guide for Poto Public Schools.
Yeah, so we have an emergency crisis committee in place, and one thing that we've been working on is trying to make sure that when things happen, we have procedures in place. We didn't necessarily have any type of manual. You'll see in your book there, if you look at the table of contents on that pink packet there, you'll see it covers all kinds of different items. And that was one of the things that we felt like we needed to do. We had administration teachers and we had local law enforcement on this committee. It's probably the largest committee we have, honestly, because safety has got to be our top priority. So if you look through there, you'll see it really does cover a whole bunch of different items. So from our end, we're wanting to make sure that all of our site offices have these procedures and know how to deal with these different situations. And now in the midst of it, I'm sure they're probably not going to grab the packet and go straight to it, but our hope is that this can be a preactive tool for that. So instead of waiting for something to happen and be reactive, we know proactively what we need to be doing. So that's really the purpose for this document. We're hoping it helps get us as a more safe environment. We're more prepared for crisis when it happens. And I think this is only the first step. We still have multiple other steps that we really need to continue to move forward on. But I think this is a really good first step for us to continue to improve the safety in Poto Public Schools.
Anyone have any questions or comments with regards to this guide? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the emergency procedure guide.
I'll second his motion.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, discussion and vote to approve or not approve a virtual school for Poto Public Schools for fiscal year 2026.
Okay, super excited about this one. We've been working behind the scenes, and we've got a committee together that's been looking at virtual academies. So we had some different items that started this. I think the first thing is every pirate every day. And in our LaFleur County, right now, if you're not in traditional school, you're in Epic or homeschooled. So from our end, we have kids around us that really need some type of non-traditional school. It's out there. And if we don't get on this, we're just going to lose kids, because this is the trend. And do I personally think virtual education is the best? I don't. However, I think it's better than what the alternatives are in LaFleur County. And I think we can do it better. So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to create a hybrid virtual academy. And what I mean by that is we want kids to be able to be in FFA, be in drama, be in music, be in our elective classes if they choose to be in our elective classes, be in our athletics if they choose to be in our athletics. But at the same time, have a blended model or a hybrid model where they're able to get their core classes through a virtual program. And so if it's a standalone program and it doesn't have support in place, it's going to be like a lot of the other virtual programs. It's not going to be super successful. For 11 years as a principal, I had teachers, and I bet every one of these principals over here could probably verify this. We have kids that leave our system, go into a virtual academy or some type of virtual education, and then they come back to us and they're behind. So my hope is that we can create something that's better than what we currently have. And so we're wanting to add a principal full-time for this virtual academy. We're wanting to add 5 teachers for this virtual academy. We're wanting to have an entire system built. We've got a handbook that's a 15-page, 20-page handbook right now. And so for us, we're really wanting to, next month at the January meeting, hire a principal for this position, hand them off the handbook that we've got, hand them off the vision that we have, and let them run with it. We need to get teachers in place. We need to promote this out. In LaFleur County, there's going to be a lot of kids that see this as a better option than what they're currently doing. And so I really see this as a huge opportunity for Poto Public Schools to grow. And I do think this will bring a lot of kids into our school system that currently are not. And the cool thing with this academy is they're being taught by our teachers. They can come to tutoring sessions. They can come to academic team. They can be involved. They can be a Poto pirate and still get virtual education. So I really do feel like the model that we've created, and when I say created, we used a lot of what Broken Arrow did. So our committee got a chance to go up to Broken Arrow Public Schools, to Sand Springs Public Schools, because both of them have this blended or hybrid model. So we were able to go up and look at what they did, and honestly, some of it was good and some of it didn't fit us, but we were able to pick what really does fit us and make our program better. So I feel like we're already a leg up. We've got a pretty good idea of what we want to do. And so from our end, our hope is that you guys can buy into this vision and we can get rolling on this, bring somebody to you next month and get a virtual academy in place. There's going to be a lot of work on the front end for the principal and for us as we're getting this built. And it will be something that long-term it pays for itself. Next year it won't, because we're going to have to max that at 150 kids. That's the most we can have in there year one. But as we grow, that second time we grow, this is the first time, so the next time we grow, we'll be able to be self-sustaining in that program. And that's where we need to get to. So not only is it one of those things that's going to be a huge win for a lot of pirates, but it's also going to be something long-term that pays for itself. So what questions do you have? I know this is a big vision, so you might have questions on this. What questions do you have?
I know you had mentioned the issue with a lot of kids that go into virtual and then they come back and they're behind. What safeguards are there in this system to help make sure that that doesn't happen?
Great question. So the committee, as we've been meeting, we've been talking about building the scaffolding so that when we have kids, they don't just fall through the gaps. We'll have, communication is going to be huge. We'll have to communicate with kids on a weekly basis, parents, quite often. Today, in fact, we were looking at a program called Cincy that is a portal for parents to get in and check on grades whenever they want for this virtual program. When it comes to a kid that's struggling in class, there'll be mandatory sessions where they have to hit SOS, support on site. They'll have to come in. We're going to have a physical location that our Poto Virtual Academy will be at with teachers in-house for the purpose of helping kids when they start to struggle. I think that's one of the biggest issues we have with other virtual programs is when you fall behind, there's not a mechanism to get you caught up and you get further behind, and the next thing you know, you got to get back into a regular school, and now you're way behind. So is it going to fit every kid? Is it going to work for every kid? No. But are there kids out there right now that this is going to be a huge benefit for? Yes. And that's really what we're trying to target. We don't want this to be a discipline issue where we don't want you in regular school, you're going to the virtual. That's not going to be this at all. This is an academic virtual program, and that's how we want to set it up from the get-go.
That incentive that extracurricular activities give for your in-class students, is that going to work the same way for this virtual academy? So like if they want to be in FFA and participate in an event or in drama or something,
Yep.
their grades are going to have to be up there and they'll have to be on target for where they're supposed to be?
Yeah, so great question. They're going to be Poto Pirates. They're going to be enrolled in our schools. So they're a part of our school. So they will be able to go to FFA and participate in FFA. If they go on an event, they go on an event just like every other kid. If they're in athletics and they're struggling academically, they'll be like every other kid. They'll be in eligibility reports. If they're failing, they don't get to participate. So from that aspect, they're going to be very similar to the rest of our student body.
So they could come from where, anywhere?
Theoretically, yes. If they want to come from Talihina and be a virtual student for Poto, then they are going to be a Poto Pirate virtually. Now, if they want to do the blended model, that might be a little too far away, but they theoretically, if they could get here and come to FFA in the afternoon, they could still do that. So, yes, they don't have to be in our district per se. They could be a transfer student.
So 5 teachers?
We're going to go 5 teachers.
So
Math, English, science, social studies, and then an elective teacher. So if you think of our traditional classroom teachers at the secondary level, they have 6 classes. So 150 is the max we would want them to have in a traditional day. So that's why we capped our numbers over there, so that our teachers over there will have the same max capacity as what our teachers do here. So we're not asking any more of them than we would any of our other teachers. That's why we capped it at 150.
you have a site already?
We do. As we move out of our current administration office into the new building, the current administration office will be the new Poto Virtual Academy.
And starting next school year?
Correct. Yeah, but there'll be a lot of work we got to get done between now and then. That's why it's going to be important for us to go ahead and get our principal hired, start getting our teachers hired. That gives principals time. If we have somebody that transfers from the SEC over to the virtual academy, it gives Ms. Lamb time to hire that person back. That's why we're going to scoot everything down and try to do it quickly. The way it works in today's education climate, you better hire people quick, because if you get to April or May or June, you're not going to find quality people usually. So we want to give our principals the best opportunity to get the best candidates.
And the principal's going to be certified in what?
Well, good question. The principal would be a certified principal. They'll have to be a certified principal. Yeah, they'll have their certificate. That's what we're wanting. Now, we might not get a certified, and we might have to jump through some hoops, but our goal is to get a certified person in there. And when we post it, I had already given all that to Kelly. So as we post it tomorrow, that's one of the criteria, that they're certified. Dennis, you look like you're contemplating mighty hard there.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to, or say my question or ask
Sure.
my question. So I'm trying to figure out. So did I understand you to say that those students will have to meet with those teachers? And then there'll be a parent portal where there'll be some responsibility put on the parent?
Yeah, if, let's say you have a virtual kid that is flying through everything and they're on track, would they have to come in physically if they live too far away? Probably not. But if a kid starts to struggle, yes, that's the support on site. If we have a kid that academically is struggling, then that's going to be a requirement. So, for example, when we start this up, there'll be an orientation. They'll have to come in to the orientation to start with. That helps get the parents to understand what the process is and the kids. There'll be weekly communication. During that communication, we have a kid that's fallen behind. That's where that SOS or support on site comes in, because he's fallen behind, or she. We're going to get with them, give them opportunities. If not, you need to come in and get tutoring.
Have you talked to other schools about, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, we've talked to a ton of schools, and we actually went to Broken Arrow and Sand Springs on site and walked through and talked with their personnel.
Okay. Other LaFleur County.
Nobody else in LaFleur County does this. We'd be the only ones, which is why I think we need to do it, because the kids in LaFleur County don't have this option.
And they don't object. Nobody would object, I don't assume.
You will have some, but they just won't come to Poto Virtual Academy because they object. But I really do feel like we will have a lot of interest, and I think this will be a big long-term win for our district.
I was blessed to be part of the committee that we did this stuff, so everything from get-go, from orientation at that campus site, showing them around, hey, these are the electives we got, this is where they will be, these are the counselors. I mean, all of it is the same as the student walking in the door here, other than they'll be doing the stuff online. So.
You ready?
Yeah. If there's no other
I
questions.
move we approve the virtual school.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve an adjustment to the 24-25 stipend list.
Yeah, so you'll see there's just one little highlight on our, it's already been approved, the 24-25 stipend list, but there is one highlight down there at the bottom. So in our powerlifting, we do have some females that want to participate in powerlifting this year. So we had, if you approve it, we've added a $500 stipend for that position. The reason it's not the $1,000 like the other coach is this person wouldn't be full-time in that class. It would be, this person would help take those kids to the events and would have outside of the school help. So not the same as the other coach there, but we felt like for our young ladies that did want to participate, that would open up some options for them and give them the opportunity to do that. No additional cost. I mean, there's not going to be any additional cost aside from this. Everything else is already there.
Any questions or comments? Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the stipend.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve stipends for the 25-26 school year.
Okay, so another big item. Really excited about this one as well. So you have two different, you have a bunch of sheets there, but you have two different colors. You have a gold and you have a salmon. So the gold is this current year, so you can see where we're at right now, and then the salmon is next year, okay? So as we got in, this was something we wanted to do last year, but first year in, I couldn't do it. Didn't feel like we had the time or priority level to do that last year. But this was an item we wanted to do this year. We have more things in the spring that we really need to work on, but this one we wanted to go ahead and get done. So what it does, we went and we looked at our district and other 4A schools on what the stipends were. And this was a collaborative effort with our athletic director, myself, Valerie helped a little bit, Ms. Tillery. So we basically compared where we're at with others. There's another school that we compete against that's higher than us almost across the board still, even with these adjustments. However, this puts us right there in what we feel is a pretty average range. We were below average on the way we paid our coaches. We were below average on the way we paid our extracurricular people. So you'll see there's two sheets there. One, that's the athletic stipend, and you'll see the other salmon is for extracurricular. So this isn't just for coaches, and not just for the athletics, but it's also for the extracurricular side. And then you'll see that third sheet that is, it's the playoff list. Now, that is something that's brand new to Poto. Poto hasn't done. The problem is, for us, the people we play in 4A and higher, where I was at, my previous district was a 3A school, and we had this in place. So Poto is really behind on this piece. We've got to be able to support our coaches. For example, last year we had a semifinal run in football. So that's 3 additional weeks that our coaches are putting in. They're not getting paid anything extra at Poto. Last year they didn't get a dime extra for 3 extra weeks of work. Whereas everybody else is getting, and not everybody, I'm sure there's others like us, but the people we're looking at in our district that we play against, et cetera, they're paying very similar. That sheet is basically what we stole from another district that's pretty close to us, that we compete directly against. So having a system very similar to what they have is going to help us, and when we're recruiting directly against them, it's going to allow us to be on level ground, at least, as opposed to upside down when we're trying to get quality coaches in place. So this is not the only way this gets paid out is if we have coaches that make it beyond their regular season and they go into playoffs. And all we're doing is we're paying them the same percentage every week that they go on. So that's what the numbers there are indicating. It's how many weeks the season is, what the total pay is, what the weekly amount is. And you'll look, that weekly amount is all we're giving. So we're not paying them any extra for making playoffs, for winning championships. They're not getting paid extra for that. They're getting paid for the work that they're putting in additional weeks, just so that they're not making less money because they make it to the semifinals per week, which is what was happening prior to this.
Anyone have any questions?
I move we approve the stipends for the 25-26 school year.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please. Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a donation from the Rodeo Team Activity Fund account number 951 to Mains and Miracles at Chaffee Crossing in the amount of $5,525.66.
Okay, so we had a rodeo club last year. We currently do not have one, and they still have money in their account. And so they have met, and they would like to give a donation to the Mains and Miracles. They offer, they have horses there, and it's therapeutic horses, so children can come in, adults, I guess, can come in, but children can come in and get like therapeutic with the horses. And so they would like to donate their money to Mains and Miracles.
Is there anything like legal-wise that you cannot take that and send it that you guys know of?
I checked with the auditor, and he just said to get everything approved by the board. And they are a nonprofit. We already have all that information, and they will be giving us like a letter back saying that they accepted our donation.
And just to be clear, this was all donation money. This wasn't money that was like tax money or anything that the school received.
No, this is all out of the activity fund. So it's what that club raised doing different. It could be donations. They went out and did different functions and raised money, but it's all out of it's their activity. It's the funds that the students actually raised themselves.
Anyone have any other questions or want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second his motion.
Roll call, please.
Adams?
Yes.
McGehee?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
All right, and then since that was approved, discussion and vote to approve or not approve the closing of the Rodeo Activity Fund account number 951 after disbursement of remaining funds to Mains and Miracles of Chaffee Crossing.
I'll make a motion, we close it.
I'll second his motion.
Roll call, please.
McGehee?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Yes. Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a memorandum of understanding for services with Carl Albert Mental Health.
Yeah, so this is a yearly item. They provide services for our kiddos, so we just ask that we go ahead and approve them. They've done a good job for us.
Anyone have any
This
questions?
is the same thing that we've done in previous years.
Correct. Yep, nothing new.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a memorandum of understanding with Save the Children in Poto Public Schools.
Yeah, so this is a yearly item as well. If we have 3-year-olds, this is how they would get into our programs, if they have special needs and those type of things. So we just have a memorandum with them saying that we'll help serve those kiddos if they identify them, so.
I move we approve.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a memorandum of understanding with Bluebird Body Company and Poto Public Schools.
So this is in relation to the electric buses, the 2 that we were planning on purchasing with them. We did one very similar to this with the first electric bus that we got. We had to have a memorandum of understanding, just saying we'll abide by the EPA regulations that they put forth, and that we will buy our bus from Bluebird. So it's the same as we did before.
I guess we need to buy it since we approved it already, so I'll make a motion we approve it.
I'll second your motion.
Roll call, please.
Adams?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve the student transfer capacity numbers.
Yeah, so if you remember, that's a quarterly item. We bring it to you 4 times a year, so nothing changed, not a single number changed from the last approval. But we, once again, have to get it done every quarter.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion we approve the transfer.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please. Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve out-of-state activity trips.
So we only got 1 in there. That's soccer going to Van Buren on March 4th.
Is there a motion with regards to that?
I make a motion we approve it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Facilities report.
Okay, so a couple things. Talk about the, we may want to go up here. Got a few photos to kind of update you on the progress of the new admin building. So while we're getting that put up there, just a quick update on the ball field. You noticed in the daylight, they got turf laid out there. Getting it stretched today, start putting in hash marks and numbers and that sort of thing over the next few days. So they expect to have it done by the first of the year, probably by Christmas break. They don't want to send the construction guys back up here after Christmas, so they've got some incentive there to get that done. So everything seems to be going well there. So with the admin building, also, he's telling us that we'll be somewhat close to first of the year, having it, the inside and stuff done. We still may be working on some signage and some things like that, that we haven't got on order yet. We're still looking through some proposals there. But the inside's coming in pretty good, so.
Chase, can you manually do it? Yep. Okay, so, just quickly, in January, we should have construction, part of that done. February, hope to install all the IT, networking, and everything else, get that going. March, we still got some furniture to put, get ordered, waiting on another quote there. So there's a little bit of lead time there for furniture. And then, you know, plan first part of April to
phase in and move. So we're actually a little bit ahead of schedule as what we originally had planned. So the front, you'll notice the last week, around before Thanksgiving, we got a new coat of paint on the front facade, a little gray, light gray there. Looks pretty good. We got new siding and windows that have been installed on each side of the building. New windows for some of the offices and new siding goes along there.
And so that whole area was one where you could see all the insulation from
Right.
from
It was still
outside.
some glass windows with insulation on the inside. So got that covered up. The other side of the building, go ahead. So that's the south side of the building. Again, the paint color and the siding. And 3 additional new windows. Those are new air conditioning units. Those are sitting there, ready to be hooked up. Hopefully this week, get some heat and air in there. Bathrooms, so they're in the process of working through that now, adding grout and stuff as of today. So that's looking good as well. So they should have it finished up probably by tomorrow. On that, this is a view of Mr. Kempnick's office with the marble tile in there. It looks good, and the windows.
Make sure everybody knows we didn't add that tile.
That was the number 1 on the priority list. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was pre-existing. It was. This is some of the new carpet. You'll recognize the same carpet that we have in here as well. So they do have carpet in the offices now. So again, just showing some pictures of the windows from the inside. They should be starting to install code base along the walls too, which will really make the carpet really pop a lot more as well. 'Cause right now it's just up against the painted wall. 2 new electrical panels. We do have power to the building right now. So, and we do have extra capacity for future expansion in the back and stuff. So the electrical, they'll be tying in. They're coming back this week to hang pendant lights and some other lighting. So they'll be wrapping up electrically pretty quick too. So this was on the back of the boardroom. So this is a mock-up from a local company for a 4-foot diameter pirate head backlit that I think will look awesome in our boardroom. So I think that looks really good. This is a mock-up of potentially the front with the glass wrapped and new signage on the facade. So 2 8-foot diameter pirate heads on either side. The Poto Public Schools will be backlit. There'll be a picture here in just a second showing that at night, so that'll be lit. The Ever Pirate Every Day motto on the front with silhouettes of pirate ships and pirate on the front. So it looks pretty amazing, honestly. There's a picture mock-up at night, so I think it'll really stand out on Broadway. You'll really notice that. So, I think, is there any more? That's it. Okay. So, kind of an update of where we're at, where we're headed. So, pretty excited about it. I think we all are, and look forward to getting moved into there in a few months. So, anybody have any questions? Anything? Thank you.
Superintendent's report.
Yep. Okay, so I do want to mention before I get into this, so seat number 5, which is Jody Thompson, he's not here tonight, but he did file, he's unopposed, so he will be a board member for the next 5 years. So really excited to have him on board. So that's a win. When it comes to I'll jump down to midterm adjustment, then I'll let Ms. Tillery go for report cards. But on midterm adjustment, Valerie and I got a chance to go and run through and look at all of our midterm, make sure everything's good. We're not planning on any midterm adjustment this year. So that's exciting. They're saying we could get a little bit of a bump, but it won't be anything like last year. If you remember, the reason we're getting so much revenue is because there's $750,000 out there that we weren't claiming prior to last December, and we were able to, or last January. So we were able to get that as a yearly item. So we're receiving $750,000 more every year than we were previously. So it will be nothing like that this year. I think it'll be pretty flat. So hand it over to Ms. Tillery for report cards.
All right, so tonight I'm going to go over our state report card that we received from our State Department. And the results for 23-24 aren't officially out to the public yet, but we have seen ours, so we wanted to share what the results are and let you know how we did. Our elementary through 7th through 8th grade are graded on 4 categories, one being academic achievement, how did our students do compared to other students the same grade level, academic growth, how well are they growing from year to year, chronic absenteeism, what percentage of our students are in attendance. That's one that schools give a little bit of pushback on because they don't feel like they have a lot of control on whether your kid comes to school or not. But the state did leave it on the report card this year. And then English language proficiency progress, that's for our EL learners. How well are they acquiring the language they need to be successful here? And then our high school has 5 categories. They have also academic achievement, the English language proficiency progress, and then chronic absenteeism. But they have 2 additional, which is post-secondary opportunities. How well are we preparing our students and giving them access to early college and career opportunities, and then graduation. How well are we doing getting our kids graduated? And most of our schools this year had the same grade that they received last year. This year we had 3 sites that scored Bs overall, and then 2 sites that scored Cs. Primary had a B. They actually this year, before they weren't graded on academic achievement or growth because they don't do state testing. But this year, the state said, no, we consider you a feeder school, so now they're receiving grades for how well the upper students do. So they got that this year, but they improved their chronic absenteeism score from a D to a B this year. And so their overall score was a B, which is the same as last year's score. Upper improved their chronic absenteeism score from a B to an A, and their overall score was also a B. Pansy Kid had an overall score of C, which was the same that they had last year, but they did improve their chronic absenteeism from a C to a B. And then SCC scored a C overall this year. Last year they did have a B, so they went down a little bit there. They did make some gains though in chronic absenteeism, but just not enough to raise their overall letter grade. And then high school had an overall grade of B, which is the same as last year. But they improved both their chronic absenteeism and their post-secondary scores from C's to B's. So we just wanted to get that information to you, even though it's not public yet. Our goal is always to maximize our learning opportunities, our resources, and things that we provide for our students, and give them the best education possible. So we absolutely embrace the every pirate, every day philosophy. Our staff has embraced that well. And we plan to look at this data and see what can we do to provide our students an even better education. So we just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Do we have any new business?
We do not.
I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 It is 7:14 p.m. Right? or accept resignations for, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please. Yes.
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 All right. We're out.
I told you.
You too. Safe travel.